This might come down now. Yeah, all right, that one's on the ground. Welcome back, guys. It's Sweaty Brad from Piney Grove. We've had a lot of very intense storms this year. We haven't had any hurricanes yet, and no tornadoes have hit Piney Grove, but we've had a lot of really violent thunderstorms. I don't know that any lightning has hit any of our trees, but last year I had to cut down a tree that had been hit by lightning out front. But what we do have this year is a ton of these pine trees around Piney Grove that are getting blown over or being snapped off at 6 foot or 10 foot level. And also we have a few that are dying, I guess from pine beetles or something. So I've got a bunch of trees that I need to either pick up from the ground so I can get them somewhere where I can wood chip them, or I need to cut them down because they're standing dead. And I want to use the grapple, but ever since I've had this grapple from Summit, it's leaked. There is an O-ring inside of this female hydraulic coupler that goes here to the diverter valve. And I put red tape on it because normally you have a male and a female over here and a male and a female over here, but this was sent to me with, just like in this configuration, 2 female sides. So I put red tape on it, so I'm not going to hook up the blue side yet because I don't want to charge any oil into here. And I've never changed one that's been pressurized. So this grapple has been pressurized, so I don't know if I'm going to get a lot of fluid flow out of here. I put cardboard down on the concrete, and I also have a catch pan here if I need it. But I have a Vevor fuel tank for fueling the tractors, and I love this thing. Let me show it to you. So this is their 48-gallon model. And when I was putting it together, right, I think here, or when I was fastening the handle here to the line, I was using white Teflon tape. And I got a lot of hate from people saying you don't use the white tape in a gas environment. You're supposed to use a yellow tape, which honestly I'd never heard of. And I just bought a roll of the yellow tape. I'm going to use it here on the hydraulic line. But when I look at the hydraulic line, it has some sort of black tape on it. So I don't know. I'm going to use the yellow tape. Hopefully it won't leak here when I tighten it down. But the big leak is right here. I mean, it leaks so much out of here that I had to add hydraulic fluid to the tractor the other day because it was low. The more I looked at it, the more I couldn't figure out which one was leaking. So I went ahead and hooked them up. I think it's the blue one or the bottom one. I'll go ahead and cycle the grapple a little bit. It's a diverter valve, so I have to hold the button. Oh, wow. There came the oil. Look at it just running out of that bottom one. I'm hoping for a quick fix here. So we got one side of this coupling is 7/8, and the other side is adjustable wrench. I don't see anything wrong with the threads or this inside lip right here. All right, here goes the yellow tape on here. If I'm supposed to be using a different type of tape, I'm sure you guys will let me know, but at least I'm not using the white water tape. Got our new coupling here. I picked up a couple of these at the auto parts store the other day, just in case. And I guess they're universal fit on the threads, or at least most of them are the same, because that one's screwing right on there correctly. I wasn't able to get it as tight as I wanted it, so I put my big crescent wrench down in the crevice of this grapple. Now I'm going to use 2 adjustables to tighten it. Yeah, that's working much better. It's holding it real still, and I can just turn this coupling end. All right, let's give it a shot. Hopefully I can get it on now that the grapple has been recharged with hydraulic pressure. But that went on nice and easy, I guess, because so much oil leaked out. All right, let's crank up the tractor and see if it leaks now. I think we've got it. I don't see any leakage, either from where I tightened it up to the coupler or underneath where it was leaking before on that internal seal. And you see how much oil went in there. So it's very plausible that the transmission oil was low because this was leaking so much. I've been putting that off for many reasons, and I really can't even give you a logical reason, except for there's never time to do it. It's just one of those things that when something is a small problem, that's when you should fix it. Just go ahead, bite the bullet, buy the part. I doubt that hydraulic coupler cost me more than 10 bucks. And in just, I don't know, probably 10 minutes, even with moving the camera. I think they said the high today at 3 p.m., and that's about where we are, is 3 p.m. It's going to be the hottest part of the day when I decide to chainsaw. And I think they said it'd be 96. I don't know what the heat index would be because it's definitely humid, so probably 103 or something like that. Dev's like, you're not going to go out and work in that heat, are you? And I'm like, oh, it's shaded up here. I'm going to try and drop the trees this way. They'll be closer to the wood chipping pile. I got my 009. I just sharpened the chain on this, but the last time I used this, it didn't want to run right. So I brought that one. I brought this MS-210 that I inherited from my dad. And I don't think this one wants to run right either. And then I got the Built Hard that they sent me to do a demo on. So I know the Built Hard runs, it's just heavy. All right, I'm going to throw start this saw. Leave me a comment. How do you start your saw? My friend Brock puts it in between his legs like this and pulls, and I can't even do that with my shoulder. I'd have to do it right-handed. And maybe that's the way you're supposed to do it, but it looks awkward. I've just always just throw start it. All right, let's go notch these trees, and then we'll walk back and get the tractor. They're little trees, so I just want to get a little notch in them because if I put pressure with the tractor too early, then it's hard to notch them. This one's actually leaning that way, away from the fence, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. I'm not going to push it with the tractor. I'll look at the other one, see how that one's going. Should fall right on that dirt pile. See that Widowmaker? That's why these dead trees are so dangerous. This is a very little tree, but there's my back cut. There's my holding wood, perfect, almost across, and then my back cut, or face cut, holding wood, and back cut. And it fell right where I wanted it to. Call that a win-win-win. This tree right here on the edge of your screen, that's the dead one. And I got a couple little ones here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and drop them. That one's split at the top. When I mean split, it's turned into two trunks. So that's going to get bigger and then just become a Widowmaker. And this one's a little scrawny one's never going to make it. So I'm going to try and drop these two right down there. That couldn't have been more perfect. And I'm no tree faller or feller. That's the lane I have to drop it. I think I cut my notch too far that way. Think about it. If I leave more wood on this side, it should twist. Got to go in between there. I I can't believe that worked out. I cut my back cut so there was more holding wood on this side to kind of twist the tree, and it worked. Listen to those tree fellers on YouTube. They know what they're talking about. I'm not talking about Brad at Piney Grove either. I'm just about spent, I ain't gonna lie. But at least this one I don't have to carry very far. Grapple is gonna be so nice to get this stuff out of here. If everything goes right, there's the dead one. It should fall right here. It shouldn't hit the camera. Part of it should collapse on the pile. At worst, it goes that way, which it doesn't hurt anything, but I'm gonna cut it up high. I got those last two pretty much within an inch. Pitter patter, let's get at her. Dad, I love you, but I wish you left me a saw that would still idle. My back cut is low. That's not good. I think it would have fell right if it would fall. Come on, gravity. Do your thing. Oh, what we got? What we got? What we got? Widowmaker after Widowmaker. Pretty accurate drop. I'll show you what I did with my back cut. Had me a little nervous. Now, that was a 100% win. And I can't believe it, but the saw is idling right now. It hasn't idled this whole video. And I made that comment to Dad up in heaven, and it is just purring. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's idling. Let me turn this thing off. It's crazy. That's got me spooked a little. Okay, so you saw that it fell exactly where it needed to fall. It got hung up in the canopy a little bit, but I'll show you how I screwed up the back cut. So my face cut wasn't the greatest, but it was in the right place and at the right angle. But when I came in with the back cut, this side with the saw was too low. But you can see that my back cut here was an inch lower. That should have been even. And what I did was I left more holding wood on this side and less on this side because I cut my face cut a little bit to the left to where I should have. So I wanted to spin the tree a little bit, and it worked out. The tree fell, got caught up in, if it hadn't got caught up in the canopy, it would have been dead center. Cut the rest of this in grappable amounts. And the reason I'm cutting them so short is because if you leave one like 7 foot long and then the space in between the tree is 6 foot, then you got to find a saw or else you'll skin up the tree as you're trying to grapple out. So I'm making them all real short, and that way I can only not only get them out of the woods without hurting the trees around, the good trees I want to leave here, but also they'll be in good lengths that are easy to handle to throw in the wood chipper. Let me get this cut up and then look around. I'm pretty much gassed, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to cut any more, but there might be a couple little ones we can cut. That didn't work out so well. Those two are jammed in there. So is my saw. Jammed in there pretty good. I think I'll go get the tractor. I got the tractor, but instead of messing with that right now, I think I'm gonna grapple out all these logs. That way I'll have a clear path to the saw in those trees, and it'll give me a little bit of a rest. But I got my wood chipping operation set up here, so I'll put branches here, bigger logs over here, and that way I can just keep adding to that pile. I think nowadays just about anyone that has a tractor has a grapple. But for years, many of us that grew up on farms or had tractors in, 10 years ago, grapples weren't that common. So I used to do a lot of tractor work and log work, this type of stuff, with a bucket. You just push things up with a bucket and either push it like into a pile like over there by the camera and get a lot of dirt with it, or push it up and wrap a chain around it. A lot of my YouTube fellow content creators that have tractors and make this kind of content, they ask me all the time, they're like, Brad, how do you do it? How do you go out there and work in that hot Florida sun? And they're not all in the north, and they get heat as well, but nothing like we have here. Or at least what we have here is persistent. They might get a few days of it. And I just tell them, and I get used to it, or I just dress appropriately and drink a lot of water, and I guess I'm just acclimated. It's just the best way to describe it, because I'm not going to sit inside just because it's hot. I have no idea how much of that I got. Probably half of it will fall out. I'm gonna take another bite. That was a mess. Some hydraulics, man. That's better. Now here's where I don't think I can fit between these trees. This is a problem. I don't think I can go forward either. Well, maybe I can. So everything through here had trees in it, and now we can go through there. And later this fall, when the pine needles fall, I'll be able to thread my way through there with the baler and bale some pine needles. Sometimes you think you got a full big bite. Get up there and then I'll roll the grapple. Yeah, everything's falling out. Those logs are getting in there in a way where they're preventing it from clamping. Didn't get as many as I wanted, but I got some. I was having fun with that grapple, sitting a little bit higher on that tractor. I was getting a nice breeze, and I was in the shade of the pines and also the canopy. And then I remembered I still have a stuck saw in a tree. This might come down now. Yeah, that's all right. That one's on the ground. All right, this one might do the same thing. I think if I come in here with the grapple and push down on this, that one will fall just like that other one did. The chainsaw won't get hurt if it hits the ground, so I'm just going to put a little weight up here, try and persuade this tree to come on down like that. That worked out pretty good. I just noticed there's a little magnolia tree right here that naturally grew. I guess a squirrel or something deposited the seed. I've cut so many trees out of this area. After I daylighted it, he's trying to grow, so I got to flag him so I don't run over him or cut him down or anything with the brush hog. I think I can grab that tree by hand and pull it towards the camera, and I'll get that on the ground. Look at the saw. Survived. Dad's up there watching out for his saw. I don't know why I put hearing protection on. The tree ain't that noisy. I was watching the Okie Woodsman. He's another content creator, and one time I I was trading gloves with Deb. We were doing some work and I get soaked. So my gloves were soaked and she kind of made a face and didn't want to use my gloves. And Joe from Okie Woodsman, he tried the same thing with his wife. And she gave him the same business that Deb gave me. Gave him that look and didn't want his sweaty gloves. Look at that. Much easier than I thought. All right, I'm going to chop them up into 6-foot pieces or so I can get them out of here. All right, Dad, start up your saw. Uh-oh. He must be otherwise occupied. Uh-oh. Remember, this was jammed in a tree just a few minutes ago. I don't want to work this hard. I can't believe that saw is idling. Just purring, sitting there purring. Didn't know there was divine intervention on a chainsaw. I thought I was going to do a few more trees, but I'm wiped out and I need to get inside. But we appreciate you guys coming along with us. Stay tuned. Me and Deb just had a video teleconference interview with a company. And if everything goes right, it's really going to change things for us out here at Piney Grove. But this is something that will take us to that last step, or to the step after building the house. Because this property was all about transforming it into a working homestead. So that's why we cut down trees. We're doing fire protection. We're planting things. We're harvesting things. We got a garden going. We're feeding the deer and the wild animals out here. We built our new house. We're living in it. Been in it 3 or 4 weeks now, getting adjusted to that. And now it's time for the homestead part and to start raising animals. And like I said, we talked with someone that might help us get a leg up on that step, but we'll reveal it if it happens. But anyway, exciting things going on. Not just me sweating out here with a chainsaw. Be sure to stay tuned. Also, be sure to click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. This is the content. This is what we do out here. We drive tractors. We excavate stumps. We plant watermelons. We sift dirt. We do garden beds. Everything that you would expect from a homestead channel. But that'll wrap it up. So until next time, y'all take care out there. And remember, life's short, tractor hard, and check out these 2 videos right here. They're pretty cool too. Take care, guys.